"Don't touch my baby," a billionaire mother yells at the waitress. Then the truth changes everything for her. What if one moment of anger could change everything you thought you knew about your own life? Victoria Chambers sat in the clean and fancy dining room of Le Bernardin. Her perfect nails held a crystal wine glass while she watched her 8-year-old son, Jake, color quietly at their corner table. The soft sound of forks and knives and quiet talking made the perfect background for their Friday evening tradition. She had built a company worth $300 million, but nothing mattered more than these special moments with Jake. The warm lights made his sandy brown hair glow as he tried hard to stay inside the lines of his dinosaur coloring book. Victoria's heart felt full of that strong, protective love that had been part of her world since the day she adopted him 5 years ago. She had given him everything: the best schools, trips to Europe, and a happy childhood that she never had herself. But sometimes late at night, she wondered about the woman who had given birth to him. "Where are you watching from tonight?" The restaurant was full of its usual Friday evening excitement. Victoria had picked this table on purpose. It was tucked away from the main room so Jake could move around without bothering other people. She cared about privacy more than almost anything, especially for her son. Their waiter, an older man named Frank, had served them for months and knew to bring Jake's chocolate milk without asking. Victoria checked her phone for the 3rd time. She was waiting for a text from her husband, Richard, about his late flight from Tokyo. His work trips were getting longer lately, so she took care of most of Jake's things alone. She did not mind at all. These dinners alone with him had become some of her favorite memories. Jake looked up from his coloring book. His green eyes were bright with happiness. "Mom, look, I made the T-Rex purple because dinosaurs could be any color they wanted, right?" His simple question made her smile. This was why she had left work early and canceled 2 important meetings. These moments of real happiness were worth more than any business deal. "Absolutely, sweetheart. Purple is a great choice." Victoria reached over to mess up his hair just as a new waitress came to their table. The woman looked about 35 years old with dark hair and a simple ponytail. There was something strange about how she stared at Jake. It was not the usual nice look that grown-ups give kids. It was deeper and stronger. "Good evening. I'm Carmen. I will help Frank tonight." The waitress's voice shook a little as she spoke. "And what is your name, handsome?" She asked Jake and stepped closer to the table. Victoria's protective feelings woke up right away. She had worked too hard and given up too much to let anyone make her son feel uneasy. The woman's hands shook as she reached for Jake's empty juice glass. She stayed too close to his shoulder for too long. "He is fine, thank you," Victoria said in a strong voice, the same one she used with big company bosses. "We do not need anything right now." But Carmen did not move back. Instead, she got down to Jake's eye level. Her face looked soft in a way Victoria could not understand. "You have beautiful eyes," Carmen whispered to Jake. "Just like." "Excuse me." Victoria's voice was cold and sharp. Victoria's chair made a loud noise on the floor as she stood up fast. "I said we do not need anything right now." Her voice was loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Some people looked over. Carmen's face turned very pale, but she still did not move away from Jake. "I am sorry. Carmen's voice broke a little. "He reminds me of someone very special." She was still down at Jake's level, and Victoria saw tears in the woman's eyes. This was not normal for a waitress, and every mother feeling inside Victoria was shouting danger. Jake did not notice the problem and smiled up at Carmen. "Do you like dinosaurs too? This one is a triceratops, but I made him blue because he is sad." He held up his coloring book with pride, and Carmen took a quick breath. "Oh my, yes, I love dinosaurs." Carmen's voice was almost a whisper now, especially triceratops. "They are very brave and protect their families." Her eyes never left Jake's face. She looked at every part as if she wanted to remember it forever. Victoria had seen enough. She stepped between Carmen and her son, her heart beating fast with anger and real fear. "I need you to step away from my child right now." The words came out stronger than she wanted, but she did not care. Something was very wrong here. Frank came to their table quickly because he felt the trouble. "Carmen, maybe you should check table 12, he said kindly, but Carmen did not move. "I am not trying to hurt him," Carmen said as she finally stood up. Her hands were shaking a lot now. "I would never. She looked straight at Victoria, and for a second something passed between them. Was it knowing each other? Was it fear? Victoria was not sure. "Mom." Jake's small voice cut through the tense air. "Is everything okay?" He looked confused and a little scared, which made Victoria even angrier to protect him. "Everything is fine, sweetheart." Victoria sat down again and pulled Jake's chair closer to her. "The waitress is just leaving." She looked at Carmen with the strong stare that made company bosses nervous. Carmen backed away slowly. Her eyes were still on Jake. "He is perfect," she whispered so only Victoria could hear. "You have done such a beautiful job with him." Before Victoria could answer, Carmen turned and walked fast to the kitchen. She left a heavy feeling in the air that even other people at the restaurant seemed to notice. If this moment touched your heart, please give the video a thumbs up. What would you do if a stranger showed this much interest in your child? Victoria's hands shook as she picked up her wine glass. The meeting with Carmen had upset her, in a way she did not understand yet. Jake went back to coloring, but she saw confusion in his eyes. She always thought she was calm and in control, but Carmen's strong feelings had made all her mother protection come out. Frank came back to their table. His face looked sorry. "Mrs. Chambers, I am so sorry about that. Carmen is usually very good at her job. She has been having a hard time lately." He stopped and looked toward the kitchen. "She lost someone very dear to her not long ago." "That does not make it okay to make my son uncomfortable," Victoria answered, though her voice was softer now. Victoria looked at Jake. He was drawing what looked like a dinosaur family. There were 3. A mother, father, and baby. Just like their own little family. "That is probably best," she said quietly. As Frank walked away, Victoria's phone buzzed with a text from Richard. His flight was late again, and he would not be home until Sunday. She felt that lonely feeling again, the heavy job of doing so much alone. She had been a single woman when she adopted Jake. She had fought hard through all the legal steps to prove she could give him everything he needed. The adoption took many months of talks, home checks, and tests about her mind and heart. She let people look at every part of her life because Jake was worth it. But now, as she watched him color happily, she could not stop thinking about Carmen's face when she looked at him. There had been so much pain and wanting there. Victoria had made her money by understanding people and what they felt inside. Carmen was not dangerous, she was a woman who was hurting a lot. "Mom," Jake looked up again. Why did the pretty lady look so sad? Victoria's heart felt tight. Even at 8 years old, Jake could feel what people were feeling, just like her. Sometimes grown-ups feel sad about things from a long time ago, sweetheart. Have you ever faced something like this? Let us know in the comments. What would you do if your protective feelings fought with your kind feelings? 20 minutes later, Victoria saw Carmen again. The waitress came out of the kitchen. Her eyes were red but strong now. She walked right to their table and Victoria quickly held Jake's hand. But Carmen was not wild like before. She walked with quiet strength. "Mrs. Chambers." Carmen's voice was calm now, though Victoria could tell it was hard for her. "Could I please talk to you alone for just 1 minute? I owe you an explanation." Victoria looked closely at the woman's face. The wild look was gone. Now there was bravery instead. "Jake, sweetheart, can you go wash your hands in the bathroom? Take your time." "Okay." After Jake walked away happily, Carmen sat down across from Victoria. She put her hands neatly in her lap. 8 years and 4 months ago, I gave birth to a baby boy. Her voice was quiet but clear. I was 19, using bad drugs and living on the street. I knew I could not give him the good life he should have. Victoria's world felt like it turned sideways. She held the edge of the table tightly. Her breath stopped for a second. I chose a closed adoption through Catholic Family Services. Carmen went on. I only knew that his new mother was successful, single, and wanted a child very much. Tears ran down her cheeks, but she kept her voice steady. I have been clean for 7 years now. I work 3 jobs, help at the hospital for free, and I never tried to find him. I knew that was not my right. Then why? Victoria's voice was only a whisper. I have worked here for 2 months. This was the first time I saw him since I signed the papers. Carmen could not stay strong anymore. I just wanted to see if he was happy and loved, and he clearly is. You are an amazing mother, Mrs. Chambers. He is everything I hoped he would grow up to be. Victoria felt tears running down her own face. For 8 years she had wondered and prepared for this moment, and it was not like anything she thought it would be. You only watched us tonight. I promise. I knew him the second I saw him. He looks just like my father did at that age. Carmen took a small old photo from her pocket. It showed a young boy with green eyes and sandy hair. I carry this everywhere. It is the only picture I have of my dad when he was little. If you are enjoying this story, subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories. How do you think Victoria should answer this big news? Victoria looked at the photograph. She saw Jake's face in the old picture. The same bright eyes, the same little piece of hair that always stuck up no matter how much she brushed it. Her hands shook as she gave the picture back to Carmen. I used to wonder, Victoria said softly, what I would say if this day ever came. I had speeches ready and lawyer papers waiting, but sitting here now, she wiped her eyes with her napkin. All I can think is, thank you. Thank you for giving me the greatest gift of my life. Carmen made a sobbing sound before she could stop it. I was so afraid you would think I wanted to take him away. I do not. I would never. I just needed to know he was okay. More than okay, Victoria said strongly. He is smart, kind, and funny. He wants to be a dinosaur scientist and help save animals that might disappear. He reads books for 5th graders and still wants me to check for monsters under his bed. She smiled through her tears. He is perfect, Carmen, and part of that is because of the brave choice you made. Jake came bouncing back to the table. He stopped when he saw both women crying. Why is everyone sad? Did something happen to the dinosaurs? Victoria and Carmen both laughed even with tears. No, sweetheart. Nothing happened to the dinosaurs. Carmen and I were just having an important grown-up talk. Carmen stood up and fixed her apron. Jake, it was wonderful to meet you. Keep loving dinosaurs, okay? They are very important. She looked at Victoria one last time. Thank you for letting me see who he has become. As Carmen walked away, Victoria called after her. Carmen. The waitress turned back. Hope showed in her eyes. Would you like to know his middle name? I picked it myself. If you want to tell me, James, after my grandfather who taught me that love is not about being related. It is about showing up every day and choosing to care. Victoria stopped for a second, but his first name, Jake, came from somewhere else. The adoption worker said his birth mother had written one wish in the file. She wanted him to have a strong name that means protector. Carmen put her hand over her mouth. Jacob. It means protector. She had named him after all, in the only way she could. Victoria nodded. Jake. Jacob Chambers. He has been protecting my heart since the day I met him. 8 years later, Carmen would send a Christmas card every year with her new address. Victoria would send back a school picture and a short note about what Jake was doing well. They would never meet again, but both women would sleep better, knowing their love for one special boy had made something beautiful. If you enjoyed this story, please remember to like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. Thank you for joining us on this journey about the different ways we love and the courage it takes to let love guide our choices.